Here's some common milkweed. Asclepias syriaca. I'm sure I butchered that one up. But this is the one and only that is edible, according to, I believe, Sam Thayer. But you see these little ones? Actually, the ones that are about as long as the first knuckle of your finger. That's about an inch on my hand. Actually, it's exactly 1 inch, but this one's maybe a little soft. I'm kind of new to these, but Sam Thayer says you want them nice and firm, and they can be bigger and still be firm. I mean, this one is a good 2 inches long here, and it's starting to feel soft. I think what he says is he'll take them and peel this outside green off. These things are nasty. Hold on. Yeah, see, this one is getting a little old. But he'll eat this white stuff if it's still soft and you can pinch right through it. But this one, I can pinch through it, but look how it's all crappy. This isn't good. Crappy is a technical term. And I'm not sure, but that might be a monarch butterfly caterpillar. Some kind of caterpillar. Caterpillars like to lay their eggs on these, and I guess the monarchs will only lay their eggs on, you know, varieties of milkweed. So I guess you should be kind of careful and not kill the innocent little caterpillars. You can see the old flower buds here. When these were just starting, kind of looks like a little loose broccoli head. They're pretty good too. They taste about the same as the little pods. But see, here's a little pod, and it's soft. You don't want that. Now this one is about 1.5 inches long, maybe, and it's nice and hard. So it would probably be good to eat. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, maybe. I think it might be getting a little late for them. A lot of the edibles go quick, you know. I think you have, a lot of times you only have maybe a 2 to 4 week window to get them. But what I'll do, I know a couple spots where there's a big patch, you know, maybe 40-50 feet long, just chock full of milkweed. I'll mark that spot on my GPS, and I kind of keep track of them through the season to get an idea of what stage of growth they're in. And I'll come back next year right to the spot without having to tromp all over in the woods and pick a whole bunch. And that's what I do with most everything, like elderberries and stuff. I mean, this is a good area for elderberries. Well, off through there it starts getting swampy, and the elderberries usually grow right around the swamps. And right now they're just starting to get the berries, but they're still green. And I've eaten the dark elderberries. There's like a bright red and a dark purple elderberry. I've eaten the dark purple ones raw, and they're good. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Some people say they're poisonous, but they're not. At least not to everybody. But when you eat wild edibles, you gotta kind of decide things for yourself, and you sure don't want to take any risks. I mean, what I do is I'll just eat a little bit, and I always save some in the fridge or somewhere in case I do get sick. I can always give it to the doctor and say, I screwed up and ate this. Can you save my life? But hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm very careful about eating wild edibles. You need to use a lot of different sources when you hunt wild edibles for food, because 10 sources might tell you something's edible and you can eat it and get sick. Just because they didn't get sick doesn't mean you will. And then 10 sources could tell you something's poisonous, or tell you that you have to boil it 3 times or something crazy like that, and you can eat it and be fine. But it's kind of an experimentation thing, and it's not something you want to do when you first get into wild edibles. You got to use a lot of different sources and talk to a lot of different people. I think the internet is a great resource for getting general information, but I think it's a horrible resource for practical use, because there's so much bad information. And not only that, you could post a video on YouTube and be an intelligent person and know what you're talking about, and somebody could take your words the wrong way and poison themselves. I mean, elderberries, the dark purple elderberries are perfectly edible raw, but the whole rest of the plant is toxic. And kids have made pipes and straws out of the elderberry branches and poison themselves because it contains, I think it's cyanide that's in them. But one surely good resource is Samuel Thayer. He has a couple books out now, and he really goes into detail on each plant. And he doesn't cover a lot of plants in each of his books. I mean, I'm not sure. I think the one book I have has maybe 20 plants, maybe 30 plants at the most. But he goes into real good detail. And they're the plants you want to eat, you know. There's a lot of edible plants in the wild, but there's not very many that are good to eat. So you want to concentrate on the ones that are easy to identify, that don't have a lot of poisonous lookalikes, and that taste good. And for me, I like ones that don't require a lot of preparation. I think the milkweed is a pretty good example of that. And it's just a really useful plant. I mean, you can take the stalk of the milkweed plant, and I believe they take this while it's still green and they dry it to get the cordage. I'm not too sure. I'm going to look that up because I plan on harvesting some of this and some of the nettle and making some cordage. But as far as the dogbane goes, that one, you can you let it go till it dries right out into the late fall, and you pick it and you use it just like it is. You don't have to dry it or anything. You just scrape the outer chaff off. There's a couple good sites on the internet with some videos that show you exactly how to make cordage out of these different plants, and it's pretty neat being able to take a plant and make rope out of it. I mean, not just for survival, but you know, if you're out in the woods and you're camping or something and you don't have rope with you, you forgot your rope at home and you need to hang something or whatever, you can just walk right out, grab a couple plants and twist up some cordage real quick. Doesn't take long at all, and it's very useful. But I'm rambling on.